The image compares the bone structures of a human arm, a seal's forelimb, a bird's wing, and a bat's wing. It highlights homologous structures, showing how the humerus, radius, ulna, and fingers are modified for different functions. Humans have a well-developed hand, seals have elongated fingers for swimming, birds have fused bones for flight, and bats have extended fingers supporting their wing membrane. This illustrates evolutionary adaptations for movement. The image shows the Eat Well plate, which divides food into different groups. It includes fruit and vegetables, bread and rice, milk and dairy, meat and protein, and foods high in fat and sugar. The largest section is fruit and vegetables, while foods high in fat and sugar take up the smallest space. The image suggests a balanced diet by eating more healthy foods and limiting unhealthy ones. To sum up, fruits and vegetables are the most important contents of the Eat Well plate. This picture gives information about climate zones for temperature and humidity. According to the picture, the yellow, largest area, has hot dry summer and cold winter, which is in the middle of Australia. However, the blue, smallest area enjoys cool temperature. It is in the southeast of Australia. Other areas' conditions include hot humid, warm humid, temperature and so on. To sum up, different areas in Australia have different climates. The following picture gives information about the Earth's structure. According to this picture, the first layer is the atmosphere. Followed by that, the second one is the crust. You can see from this picture that the mantle is the next. Then the layer below the mantle is the outer core. Finally, the innermost layer is the inner core. To sum up, this picture tells about the Earth's structure. The image shows a flowchart for a quiz. It starts with slide 1, where users click to begin. Then, slide 2 asks question 1. There are two choices, true or false. If true is clicked, it goes to slide 4, which says the answer is wrong, but moves to the next question. If false is clicked, it goes to slide 3, showing the correct answer and then moving forward. Both slides lead to slide 5, which has question 2. The chart shows how the quiz flows based on the user's answers. According to the graph, I notice the values of underweight are around more than 1.56 meters and less than 12 stones. From the graph, I find the weight of healthy weight is around less than 16 stones, which is higher. What's more, we can see from the graph that the area of extreme obese is red, and it's in the upper left corner of the graph. Finally, the lowest maximum of height is 1.6 meters, and it's for extreme obese. To sum up, this chart tells about how to define overweight. The image is an infographic displaying government expenditure in different sectors of education. It is shown on the pyramid chart that $11 billion is invested in education in total. At the top of the pyramid, higher education has $1.8 billion invested in it. After that, vocational educational training and schools get $2 billion and $3 to $4 billion respectively. At the bottom of the pyramid, we can see the early childhood in which $0.8 to $1.4 billion is invested. In comparison, schools get the most investment, while early childhood, the least. To sum up, this pyramid chart tells about the government expenditure on education. The following graph gives information about food price versus oil price. The items include oil price, food price index, and years. The horizontal axis is by years, ranging from 2000 to 2009. According to this graph, in 2000 the oil price is around 40, and that of the food price index is lower, which is around 20. From the graph we can see, the highest oil price is around 140, which occurs in 2008. What's more, the lowest value of the food price index is around 20, which is in 2001. To sum up, this graph tells about the relation between food price and oil price. The image shows the migration pattern of the blackpoll bird between North and South America. The dark blue areas in Canada and northern parts of the United States are where the bird breeds during warmer months. The orange area in northern South America is where the bird spends the winter. The bird travels between these two regions twice a year. In the fall, shown by the green arrow, the bird flies south from North America to South America. In the spring, shown by the yellow arrow, it returns north to breed again. This map helps us understand where the blackpoll bird lives in different seasons and how it moves across continents. The following graph gives information about S&P ASX 200, a share market index. You can see from this graph that the value of 10 is around 0, the lowest. Then that of 11 is around 3,490, which is higher. According to the graph, the highest one is around 3,500, and it occurs at 11:30. Finally, at 12:15 it is around 3,492, as the third peak. To sum up, this graph tells about a share market index. The image shows two homemade bird feeders made from recycled plastic bottles. Each bottle is filled with bird seeds and has small holes with sticks or spoons placed through them. The sticks give birds a place to sit while they eat. The feeders hang from a string, making it easy for birds to reach the food. This simple and eco-friendly idea helps feed birds while reusing plastic waste. In one of the feeders, a bird is sitting and eating, showing that it works well. The image explains how different types of solar eclipses happen. On the left side, we see the sun, which gives off light. In the middle, the moon moves in its path around Earth. On the right side, the Earth orbits the sun. The moon blocks some of the sun's light, creating shadows. The outer shadow, called the penumbra, causes a partial eclipse, where only part of the sun is covered. The darker center shadow, called the umbra, causes a total eclipse, where the sun is completely hidden. This image helps us understand how solar eclipses form. This image shows the different parts of a tree. At the top, the green part is called the crown, which includes the leaves, twigs, and branches. The leaves help the tree make food using sunlight. The twigs are small and connect to larger branches that spread out. Below the crown is the trunk, the thick, strong part that supports the tree and carries water and nutrients. Under the ground, the roots spread out, holding the tree in place and absorbing water from the soil. This diagram helps us understand how trees grow and function. This image shows the structure of a thatched house. At the bottom, we can see wattle and daub, which form the base of the walls. Moving upward, there is an upright loom, large timbers supporting the main frame, and a space near the top for smoking and preserving meat and fish. The smoke escapes through the thatch, so there is no need for a chimney. Inside the house, we can see a door, beds, a main hearth for cooking, a small domed kill, and logs for sitting. In conclusion, the structure is well designed, and the thatch has a natural brown color. This image compares two types of overshot water wheels. On the left, the water flows from a flume and falls directly onto the top of the wheel, causing it to rotate in a downward direction. This is a standard overshot water wheel, where gravity and the force of flowing water make it spin. On the right, the water also flows from a flume, but hits the back of the wheel before moving downward. This is known as a pitchback overshot water wheel, where the rotation direction is opposite to the standard one. Both designs use flowing water to generate energy, but the pitchback type may be more efficient in certain conditions. The following graph gives information about unemployment rates by ethnic groups, including white, mixed and Indian, and by sex in the UK in 2001. Men are represented in light blue and women is represented in dark blue. For men, the highest unemployment rate is within Bangladeshi at about 23%, and the lowest unemployment rate is within white at 5%. In contrast, for women, the highest unemployment rate is also within Bangladeshi at 20%, while the lowest unemployment rate comes from white at 4%. To sum up, this graph tells about unemployment rates of ethnic groups. This picture shows the pyramid of food required by the human body. At the bottom, we can see water, which is the most essential material. Above water, there are whole grain foods such as rice, cakes, and biscuits. Then it is a level for fruits and vegetable. Grapes, oranges, and apples are in the fruit section, and broccoli, potatoes, and carrots are in the vegetable section. What's more, milk products, fish, poultry and eggs appear on a higher level. At the top, a level stands for sweets and oil. In conclusion, all the levels in the pyramid are important for humans. The following image gives information about air temperature. Data of different areas are displayed on the map. According to this image, the highest temperature areas are in African and South America. In comparison, the lowest temperature areas are in the Arctic and the South Pole. You can see from this image that the moderate temperature areas are in China and Europe. To sum up, this image talks about air temperature. The following map gives information about the Australian population density. Data of different areas are displayed on the map, based on statistical local area boundaries, with 1 equal to 1,000 people. According to this map, the densest cities are Sydney, Canberra and Melbourne, located in Southeast Coast. After those, there come Eastern Australia's Brisbane, Southern Australia's Adelaide, Hobart, Western Australia's Perth, and Northern Australia's Darwin. What's more, the most sparsely populated areas are the vast outback in the middle of the continent. In conclusion, the most highly populated areas are in the southeast coast. The following map gives information about the share of world GDP per capita sourced from the World Bank, ICP. The largest area is over 3.5% represented in dark green, and you can find it in the north of Asia, occupying the majority of the areas in Asia. 1 to 3.5% represented in green, and over 15% in black also have large areas. You can find them in most of North America, some parts in South America and Australia. 0.5% to 0.1% and less are represented in yellow, and you can find it in the majority of areas in Africa, and some parts in Asia. The 6 biggest economies are also shown on the map, including China, the US, and Russia. To sum up, this map illustrates very detailed information of world GDP.